Alright, Chapter 11, MS-DOS Shell. This is the second tape for Chapter 11. Alright, program list. You think it's the file list is part of the shell window provides information. You can think of the program list as the file provided with the functional program list area contained with two different types of items, program and program groups. Although, but more representative of the application of the groups can run directly from the shell program standalone items that run as soon as they activate them. The program groups are umbrella items that include several programs. And graphic program group has different icon from a program and text. Some program group is enclosed in square brackets. When you start the shell with a program list or the display with a list of the groups, the name of the one program group, typical program groups are following command prompt. Temporarily stop the shell with the display of the MS-DOS system prompt that you can type with the MS-DOS commands, and you return to the shell by typing exit editor start with the version 5 and the later MS-DOS editor program that they briefly hear but learn about in more detail next chapter. MS-DOS Quick Basic when started with the Quick Basic program, a version of Microsoft Quick Basic program language. Disk utility, which of the group is that displays another list of choices that you select. In this case, disk utility is a group of set of commonly used MS-DOS disk and file operations. Your equipment will these added to the group of your own. But you start out with a prepare one later example by copying one file with a floppy disk drive A with the floppy disk drive A, but then highlight with the file named DOS shell install, which view earlier in DOS directory. Now press F8 and choose the copy from the file menu. Copy DOS shell installation to A drive. You won't need to file list area for now, so you clear the window a bit, choosing the program list with the view menu. Starting a program to start a play with a display of the item with a program group, you simply choose of the program list. For example, the command prompt should highlight it now, although you would necessarily consider the name of the program, and it does in fact start with a program called with the MS-DOS temporarily leave the shell and display the system prompt. Press the enter, double click with the command prompt. A few moments for the screen clears, the MS-DOS displays an opening message, and you see the MS-DOS prompt return shell with the type MS-DOS exit. Unless you return to the program that has its own quick command, the command you use the return to shell, switching among programs. Have you ever, while using one program, word processor, for example, to need with another program, spreadsheet, or graphics program, if you had leave with the first program, stuck with the finish with the second program, leave with the first start, finish program again? Sometimes it can happen fairly often, make you spend much more time starting with the stopping programs. Shell includes a feature called Task Swapper, which lets you start one or more programs and switch from shell to each program with just a few keystrokes. Shell has the MS-DOS editor, Quick Basic, both which come with the MS-DOS. Note, if you're interested in trying the Task Swapper with your own application programs, you can follow the instructions given here. Substitute with the name of your application programs you're told to activate with the editor. Quick Basic with the word processing programs such as Microsoft Word will do, but try not to use the memory resident pop-up program such as DOS key. You might see with a message telling you to quit the program before returning to the shell. Start the Task Swapper open the options menu. The fifth item with enable the Task Swapper to the turn either on or off. The on is preceded by a dot. If the on is off, select and press enter and turn it on. Otherwise, escape to close the option menu. Now, program list area should be divided in two parts. The left should be titled main. Right half should be titled active task list. The right side should display the name of all of the programs you've started with the left running. You have the left running, and so the list should be blank. Start with the editor, choosing the editor from the main menu window. When the editor dialog box asks you which file to edit with the type ed file, we'll press the enter for the click on the file with the editor starts as a display with a blank window. Start with the application will see easy to recognize. Type the following. This is knife editor file. Now return to shell with tapping the editor of the press control escape and view for the moment shell with the display of the program list screen again. The time of the editor appears in the active task list. Tell you can rejoin editor anytime you like. To do so, simply select the active task list. Start with the second program. Choose the MS-DOS Quick Basic from main window. When the program asks you for the name of the file, edit type BAS file. Press enter and click OK. But then when Quick Basic starts, type this is my Quick Basic file. Again, press Control Escape with the return shell with the now active list of the show with the two entry for the MS-DOS Quick Basic and editor. Switch the editor, select with the active task list with the editor again, just as when you left it. Now suppose when you leave the editor, remember that you wanted to check something in quick basic, hold down with the Alt key with the press tab until the tab bar on the top screen displays my MS-DOS quick basic. Release the Alt key, you can become the other program, control exit, return shell. You can switch among your programs in shell at will by pressing Alt Tab. When you press Alt Tab, shell cycles the name of each of the active programs, including itself, in a round-robin fashion. Unless they are started several programs, Alt-Tab is an only key combination needed to switch back and forth that you would like to see with the other key combinations. You can choose keyboard from Help menu, choose the active task list keys. If you want to start a program and won't use it right, you can add active task list without ever leaving the shell. High command prompt, but pressing Shift Enter instead of just Enter. Now active task list should contain a command prompt, MS-DOS quiz basic MS-DOS editor. While through using a program just at the end of the normally would, the shell display with the program list screen with the name now with the name of the program left does not appear with the active task list. To stop the 3 tasks, you start over the following and choose a command prompt from the active task list, the type of the escape or exit with the MS-DOS display system prompt. When the shell reappear with the command prompt, it's gone with a list of the tasks. Next, switch to the quick basic, choose exit from the file menu, choose no for the quick basic. Ask you if you want to save the sample to return the shell. Switch the editor, choose exit from the file menu. Again, choose no when you ask if you want to save the file. This time you will return the shell. There are no entries to the active task list. You'll find that switching among programs like this lets you make a better use of your time in the computer. Selecting a program group, symbol the brackets associated with the disk utilities main area tells you that the selecting item displayed with a different list of choice with the list to choose the disk utilities area screen now is titled Disk Utilities. Name of the program group selected with rather than main. You see with a different list of the choices. Main returns you main program list screen. Disk copy backup fixed disk restore fixed disk quick format undelete. You'll see shortly you can customize the list of choice by adding your own program items and program groups. Choose main and return to main screen. When program lists are active, the menus are the same with the file list active with the tree menu. It is appeared with the cover that is needed here. Options help menus remain the same. View menu remains almost same, and the refresh is not available with the program list area with the file menu. However, it contains a number of different choices. Program list file menu rather than offering choice with the deal with the file with the program list file with the menu list of the lets you manage the list of programs, items, and program groups. Display the file menu choices include these. New, which has the new program or program group with the program list. Open, which shows the highlighted program item display with the item selected with the program group. The same effect with highlighting an item, pressing enter. Copy, which copies the program into a proper group. Programming specified. Delete, which deletes the program item in the program group from which you already deleted all program items. Properties, when you look, lets you specify the title and start command other definition of the program and the program group. Reorder, with let you change the order of the program items and program group displayed. Run lets you start any program whether or not displayed with a list of the program items and program group. Exit will leave the shell. Adding a program item. Adding program item to the shell can be simple. It can even add a program that requires more than one command. Simply separating commands with semicolons. Suppose you wanted to add an entry, a memory check will carry out the MS-DOS memory command. Choose the new from the file menu to show the shell displays the dialog box, giving you the choice of adding program group. Program item the shell assumes you want to add the program item, which you do. Press enter and click OK. Now the shell display with the add group, add program dialog box. Shell requires you to fill out with the program title with the command field with the define with a new entry with the program title specifies how with the program list with the ability to display with the type of the memory check. Press tab move with the command field with the specify with the command that to be carried out type of the memory and press enter with the add program and dialog display with the memory check. Instead of list of programs, choose with the new item with the highlighting and the pressing enter with the double clicking on it with the screen cleared with a few moments the MS-DOS display with the report with the memory command. Pop with the message, press any key with the return to MS-DOS shell, press any key to return to the shell. Changing a program item, you can change any of the characters of the program item with the title command with the carried out with the so forth with the shell refer with the characters with the property chain with the highlight with the program item chain with the select with the properties from the file menu highlight memory check with then select properties with the file menu with the shell with the display with the program item program properties dialog box. Dialog box contains the same field with the adds programs dialog box with because it lets you with the chain with the existing definition However, fields with which values have been assigned, in this case, the program title commands are filled. Change one of the proper tab of the new, simply enter for the new value of the appropriate field. Suppose the example, you decide you want a program item to be a memory command instead of the memory check. You want to assign a password IQ to the menu command. In the program title field for the IQ, notice the capitals in the program password field. With the press enter for the carry out the chain with the type of the command. With this type of the dialog box appears asking for the password of the type IQ. But be sure to type in capital letters because the shell can tell the difference. Then press enter for the once you've entered for the password. The dialog box disappears with the screen. Enter for the memory port is displayed with the program item in the same command. You now give it an A with the new definition deletion of a program item. Memory command example the server that's the purpose of the deleted memory server the memory command with the highlighted select with the menu delete in the file menu shell with the display with the delete with the dialog box shown with a new text page. Like delete file with the dialog box delete item dialog box lets you confirm the name of the item deleted with the assignment of the password memory command. The dialog box reminds you of the fact with the dialog box off with the two choice with the delete and the non-delete. Do not delete. The delete option highlighted and are asked to OK the cancel help. If you want to delete the item, press enter for the dialog box disappears. The shell continues. Display main program list and the memory command is gone. Customizing the program list. You can customize the list of program items, program group of the shell display with the tailoring the shell. Reflect with the programs you use might add with the group program name, the word processor, for example, include with the word processor the associated programs you might add with the program group. Then financial for your spreadsheet, accounting for the programs. Once you create the groups, you will be added with the program item to the program item runs the program. Adding a program group. Suppose you wanted to create a separate program group in a text file that would let you edit and display with the printed files shell with the add of the program group, then add MS-DOS editor to it. If you want to try adding a word processor with the program item, but assume that the word processor accepts the file name that's part of the startup command following the instructions should work for you. Just remember to use the command that starts your program instead of the edit command with the start of the MS-DOS editor. Create program group. Choose new file menu just as you added with the memory check program item as before. Shell is displayed with the new program object dialog box at the time. However, you don't want to accept the select shell's choice for the program item option. Select the program group instead. Press enter. Click on OK. The shell display with the added group dialog box. Dialog box show with the only field with the must be complete with the title in which specify with the group of the name of the program list area with the wishes. If you wish, you can specify the help text of the shell displays F1. Press for the group name with the highlighted as before. You can designate a password. The press enter must be entered into entity of the group. And then for this program group, you enter the title and some of the help text. For text file with the title field with the tab of the help text field with this type of this group, it lets you add the text and enter the save of these entry with the shell with the display of the program list of the area again with the added group text files. Now active tile group text files groups and highlight press enter for the double clicking on it titled on top of the display chain for the main text files. And even though you haven't added any program items yet, the list contains with the choice of the main and shell added program items. So you can return to the main program list screen. You can also return by pressing escape. Specifying a command parameter. First program, the item you add with the text file program group will run with the MS-DOS editor. The alternative is chosen. Yes, you can already run the editor with the main list of the example to be covered the most computers of the text handling program some type. Choose the new file with the file menu shell with the display with the new program object with the dialog box just as he did as the memory check with the text file with the press in with the click with the OK with the create with the program item shell with the display with the added program dialog box. Text editor tab command fields. When you specify with the memory command in an earlier example, you enter the just with the command field with the edit editor, however, the normally lets you specify with the name of the file that you want to work with. For example, include the file name of the command, start with the MS-DOS, or editor of the MS-DOS, open the file with the exit with the create. File does not exist if it does not include the file name MS-DOS editor, start with the editor without opening and creating a file. To tell the shell that you want a program to accept one parameter such as the file name included a % with the numeral 1% of the command field for the MS-DOS editor type %1. For different editor word processor type of the appropriate start command, for example, the word %1. If you were using Microsoft Word, the process creating a parameter explained with a new passage for designing your own dialog box now attempt the start directory field. Alright, specifying a path. And routinely use the directory for the work so that you're properly organized with the data file with the different directories depending on what they contain with the type of the application. Use them in the processing file, for example, that might be categorized with letters, memos, reports, client, department, any of the number of other ways. And setting up the program running the shell with the directory field with an add program dialog box, particularly drive the directory whenever you start with the associated program. If you write a lot of letters, for example, you might change the word to let the directory start with the word processor. However, with the start directory, tell with the shell with the root directory of the drive A. Whenever it starts typing, drive A start directory field, now tab application shortcut field. Specifying a shortcut key with just some of the shell menu selection keyboard shortcuts F8 or for copying the file menu file list. For example, they specify the shortcut combination program item with the program group. Shortcut keys must be Shift Alt and Alt or Control combined with another key of the keyboard. To make Alt E shortcut key for editor, press Alt plus E key. In Alt E appears the application shortcut key field with the finally tab of the pause either after of exit field. Controlling the pause message. When you try with the memory check with example that you set with the shell with the display with the pressing of the key with the MS-DOS with want you to read the message, press the key and pause with the required with the however you can return control with the pause after the exit field with the X between brackets. Now to show the options turned off then the space bar, click on the X, turn off the option. Chances are you won't keep anyone using editor, so with the need for the password, besides you're already seen how passwords options work, so press enter to tell the shell you finish with the dialog box instead of the return with the program list, have the shell to display with another dialog box added program. Alright, designing your own dialog box with the command you enter for the editor, the edit 1% with the tail of the shell that you want with the command except with one parameter is file with the name at your choice. The shell will have the parameter of the dialog box. Look at the now list you've specified the content of the dialog box display with the prompt. Cursor beginning with the window title field with the field specified with the title display with the bar with the top of the dialog box. Edit program dialog box you're working with it now. The type of the file edit tab with the program information field. When you use the program information field to specify the instruction explanatory text with a period with the below with the title with the top of the dialog box of the box is working with the next field with the fill information for 1% program dialog. Type enter for the name of the file to be entered or press enter for the start of the editor with no file. Type the tab prompt message field. Prompt message field specify with the text appear with the left of the field with the field within here. With the prompt message field with your work will now edit command parameter must fill with the name such the file name tab with the default parameters filled with the default parameters filled. Let you specify the value shell fills any of the command parameter you see how the work shortly with the try Fred the press enter for the complete with the direction text editor program item shell display with the text file program list again the time with the two items main text editor. Testing a new program item, try with a new program, check with the floppy disk shell installation in drive with a highlight text editor, press enter for the start program, first the shell displays, file edit dialog box just as designed. Check with the title of the dialog box instruction line at the top of the prompt left of the entry field with it should match the text, enter for the window title program information prompt message field with a moment ago. Entry fields contain forever with the default parameter specified default parameters field with you would to press enter for the shield. Shell will tell you MS-DOS to run the edit command using Fred with the name of the file of the edit because they have no such for the first the MS-DOS would create it, then editor will show the blank screen. Instead, request the DOS shell installation file copied to the floppy disk of the drive A. Earlier in this chapter, shell erased the default line with the known name as soon as the starting typing as just the top type DOS shell installation. Now, before entering drive A becomes active, assume the screen fills with lines of the DOS shell installation. Right now, you're just verifying when the text editor program item works, so select the exit with the editor file menu. Use the appropriate quit command if you're using a different program. Edit quit with the shell screen returns showing the text group with the two choices. Disk Utilities Program Group. You can learn still more to define with the program item group. Selecting the program item from the Disk Utilities Group, seeing how the fields are filled out. Just don't change anything. For example, to return the main screen, select the format Disk Utilities Group. The screen looks like this. Notice that the parameters filled with a suggestion floppy disk drive, they should be formatted. Note, now escape to enter or not enter, but determine the program list with the format still highlighted. Choose the property of the file menus to see how the format program item defined. The screen should look like this. One parameter 1% specified with the dialog box. Show how the parameter is defined. Press enter. Click OK. Show the display with the program item property dialog box at 1%. Compare the field with the dialog box with the dialog box itself illustrated earlier with the field match with the text defines task title instruction prompt format dialog box. Press enter. Click OK on the screen. Editor example show with the degree with the which the Taylor shell with the use their own. Although example prepared on one command for the MS-DOS area with the edit command with the file name of the parameter. Remember that specify more than one command and necessary with the separating command with a semicolon surrounding each of the blank spaces. You can also see how to specify the defined parameter of the edit command. If you own work specify more than one parameter, each of the owns dialog box with a separate instruction prompt with a default value together multiple commands, multiple parameters. Should let you add any of the programming like the shell program list provides startup information program might need. You add only one program item with a text file group. You can add several more with the same method as an added editor. If you want, you can experiment with the program part with the MS slash. You could, for example, add an item display file with a run to the type of the command. Alright, using the same techniques, you could add program group for the desktop, publishing, financial management, run all application programs you see with use. With a task swapper, you could then start several application programs, switch among them without having to exit one another. With the help of the associate command down on the file list of the file menu, you can even set up with your own system so that the shell serve the particular program open the specified file. Whenever you choose the file name specified with the extension, just as you ask the structure file name to match your work, you can structure the program choice of the shell to run the programs that you use. Deleting a program group. When you're there, through experimenting with the MS-DOS server of the program, you can delete the program item through the text file group. You can delete with the text file group itself. With a short while ago, you deleted a menu command program item. The deleting program group is just as easy. Only case that cannot delete with the group it contains a program item. Respect deleting program group that you like. Even the remove directory with the command delete with the directory. Once the group of the directory is empty, return to the program list with the original state. Return to the main program list screen when necessary. Next, activate your text group with a highlighted text editor program item. Choose the default of the file menu. Press enter. Click OK. Shell is displayed with the delete item box. If you add other program items to the group, delete them too. Once you've deleted all of the programs in the group, you can delete with the pro group itself. It's the same procedure, just as file. First, return to the main program list screen. The next, highlight text with the delete with the file menu. Press enter. Click OK. Delete with the group when you finish with the shell display with the main group list of the screen. Again, time with the text file group. Chapter hasn't covered all the features of the shell, but it's shown you most of the common ones. We cover the operating techniques fairly consistent throughout the shell. We cover the help information is quite thorough. You should be able to learn what is in it by selecting menu items, using the help feature to guide you. Chapter 12, Creating Editing File Text. Testing.